So, what role is AI and ML playing right now? Well, immediately we can help by pinpointing areas that are going to open up, right? We can provide prediction models in various areas. Say when you reach a certain point, this will likely open up within 3 days or 5 days. We can also model the restart of economic activity. We know some counties and state regions are looking at how to simulate the economies opening up for various, let's say, retail shops, B2B businesses, logistics, and so forth, because they need to gather their tax revenue. So there are a few companies, your major corporations, in terms of your consulting firms, are doing a lot of modeling to help states understand their tax revenue implications, where they can get the money, and how everything will work. What's fascinating is there are a couple of competing ideas, but the one that seems to be gaining traction is actually to reduce the state and local taxes so that it will spur economic activity within areas. And there's been some studies that will actually show that. And so we know of a few people who are working on some models to do exactly that. More specifically for businesses, you want to look at what is changing in your current customer behavior. You want to try and analyze things like any text messages that you're getting, email messages, messages that are being left on your website about information, and compare it to what happened before. You also want to model this behavior moving long term. You want to see how this may have changed year to year, from last year to this year, to see if there are any effects on that behavior. For those in retail shipping, you may see an increase in the online orders and mobile orders as opposed to people who are coming into the stores. But you may also likely see some problems associated with the delivery of other mechanisms, like are they looking for different times that you're open? Are they looking for, instead of coming at the normal time that they would on a Saturday, are they coming a little bit early? Are they coming later? All of those things will change, and your AI and ML algorithms will actually help you determine where these peaks are, as well as provide information to your customers on when's the best time to come, because they may want fewer people in the store and you can distribute them. So there are some real benefits to that. But we have a very interesting challenge right now, and that is this. There's been a lot of news that's been publicized about the models, and there is honestly some healthy skepticism of models, but there are also some problems with these models. And this is not really to show the problems of virus modeling or epidemiology, pandemic responses, and so forth. We know this occurs from a lot of the clients that we've worked with. We know this question arises. How do I know the model is correct? How can I trust this? The problem is that with all the news about how these models might be wrong, the uncertainty, the skepticism about whether artificial intelligence really works, that is going to be pervasive throughout any models that folks do. You create a revenue model, there's still going to be this thing inside people's head that say, wait a minute, all these great scientists were wrong on their virus models. How do I know this revenue model is correct? And so a lot of the data scientists, a lot of the people who work with data need to be very aware of this. They need to have that healthy skepticism. They need to respect the skepticism that will occur from folks who are retrieving these models. And it should make your data scientists and your data teams better at explaining, better at basically interpreting the results in a manner that will be much more easily understood and much more easily acceptable by the senior executive staff and so forth. But this is one area that we're watching actually very closely to see how AI and ML really become perceived. We know that there are some challenges, especially in healthcare, with like the IBM Watson, people did a study that said, well, do you trust online medicine, or do you trust this machine giving you a diagnosis and a treatment? And the answer was, well, sort of. We kind of like the fact that it does it, but I want a doctor telling me. So there is that skepticism and trust of these machine learning models, or these AI models, being correct. We also know that we've seen cases, unfortunately, with the self-driving cars. An Uber car was actually involved in an accident where it killed I think it was a pedestrian or a bicyclist out west. So this creates these problems for AI. We think in the long term, though, it won't be so much of a challenge. So where does this leave us in this post-COVID-19 world? So we identified 4 key areas where we think that this is going to be a key issue. The first is social distancing. Right now, from a policy perspective, you have to social distance. But that is going to have a lingering effect on the way people interact with each other, as well as interact with your business. It's going to completely transform the information that they want, the products that they want, and how they exchange payments with you, how they create commerce. The second major area is the work environment. For those of you who are in an office building or a larger office building, there may be a lot of changes associated, not just in the short term with rolling work from home and rolling work in the office, trying to figure that out, but also these may be permanent changes. You may see permanent changes where instead of a company needing 100 desks for an office, they'll only have 50, and they'll do this rolling, travel pods where you come in, you find a desk, you work, or we need to have a meeting. Another conversation that we had dealt with the fact that they'll have virtual offices, in different places, or the remote work. You may see smaller offices around a particular geographical area, and that will aid in this, let's say, movement of personnel. We also see the work environment being affected in warehousing. We might see additional artificial intelligence solutions being put into manufacturing and warehousing to limit the number of touches that people actually have with each other. There is some other work that's being done to collect information on employees, like their temperature, whether they had a cough, and so forth. We'll talk about those because there are some legal and privacy issues that enter into this. We also have identified there are new opportunities, and this is one of the areas in terms of like your opportunities from your SWOT analysis. There are significant opportunities for companies to engage new customers in a new way and actually gain market share. We know Amazon's doing a lot of this. We know some other firms are doing this as well. Instacart, we think there's a lot of Instacart-like clones, if you will, that will start appearing because there just wasn't enough people. And now that people know about it, there may be a lot of interest in the concierge services. Disruptor acceleration, we think, is also another one. We believe that new businesses and new types of businesses will open up to basically impact your existing business. So there are a lot of different things that will occur to transform an entire industry and the way the industry works. In order to do this, you're going to see challenges in rapid response in healthcare. Your projection models will need to be more accurate and need to run at a much quicker pace than they normally had. We were going to see a lot in logistics and optimization. You're going to see a lot of things about moving people, moving product, traffic type models like in-store traffic and warehouse traffic, as well as simulations. It's one of the things that we've been talking about for years, is that the use of simulations are really good, because if you're trying to make sure, let's say you have a supply chain and you have product and raw goods that you need to get from stage to stage to stage, you want to try and create your optimization models. But when you do that, you want to actually use simulations to figure out what if scenarios. What if we have a spike, let's say, or a decline in a particular area, say New York City? What is that going to do to our model? How does that work? What are the sensitivity traits of individual variables within the model? So there's a lot of good stuff within these last, two components that could end up having a significant impact on your business. So let's talk about some specific social distancing. There are really three key things. Number one is this social distancing policy. We don't think the social distancing policy is, number one, over in the near term. We think there's going to be longer term effects to that. We do have social distancing policy as a matter of public policy. We will see those probably from years to come. As the government's trying to get their handle on certain things, you may see limitations on the number of people in restaurants, limitations on the number of people in stores. We'll also talk about that when we talk about the workplace. You may see limitations on the number of people that can be in there. For airlines, we'll probably see, you can't be so close to each other. They're going to probably mandate further space. I'm not sure how much space they're going to be able to do. But there's also going to be the voluntary social distancing. This is going to be people who have been affected by this COVID crisis. There's going to be people who are more interested in saying, I want to be safe. And so therefore, they will social distance themselves. They will not go into the crowded stores. They will look for the times when they can shop without having to be less than 6 feet away from each other. Or they are voluntary social distancing by ordering online more. They're asking for more concierge services. They're asking for businesses to come to them. So this is where the customer demands different types of services. And the AI and ML algorithms will actually help trend these items. They'll basically predict when certain areas might be looking for this or the type of people who are looking for this. And we can also see this as providing additional services for, say, the elderly who do not want to go out, who could be at risk for these types of viruses. So we can manage traffic into the stores with these items, and we're seeing algorithms already now to actually work with that. They work with the phones. So what will happen is that if you want certain things, you can put them on the list, and it guides you with the most optimal path to get there, where someone's talking about where there's the least amount of traffic, because if I have everybody with a phone, I know exactly where they are. I can increase connection with customers through these online and mobile needs. I'm actually pushing information to customers because I think I know what they need because they've purchased from me before. So I'm going to keep pushing not just recommendations, but I'm going to purchase baskets. Hey, this is a basket of goods that you might be interested in because you purchased from us. The enhanced delivery mechanisms, this is a big one. We're seeing more innovative ideas to deliver product, even deliver testing materials for COVID-19 remotely, where a drone actually goes to a place, drops a package off. UPS was trying this years ago, but now we saw the other day on TV that pizzeria is actually doing the same thing, and they're delivering up to the door, and it's an automated little truck that's actually doing it. Plus, you can use real-time data for replenishment at a customer level. So this is where we'll get to the IoT, Internet of Things, where more IoT devices out there will provide more information that can be used by your business for the purposes of getting the information out, getting the product out, and staying engaged with your customers. But this poses a challenge. It's not just about monitoring employee health, right? It's, when folks come in to a workplace, right? There's talk about monitoring their temperature. Did you have, cough? Were you anywhere who was exposed and so forth? The employees still need to work. When you have that, what data are you going to collect and how? There's a legal and privacy issue for this, that no matter what you do, they're talking about the phones, where the phones are your immunization cards. There's a whole set of legal issues and privacy issues associated with this. But if you do collect that information, how is that data going to be stored? How is it going to be used? Because if you do have to terminate an employee or there's a problem with an employee, they will say that you use that data, my private health data, in order to get rid of me. And it can open up, depending on the state, it can open up a number of challenges. But by collecting some of this data, you can predict and forecast who should stay home and alter work schedules, right? It's not just everybody work from home. It's you can create, instead of the 5-day work week, you can do the 3-day work week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, work from home, or some rotating scale. But you can also do it based on the mass transit. You can do it based on hotspots. And it doesn't have to just be COVID-19. It could be for flu as well. Because by reducing the infections of even flu and COVID-19 and anything else that may come up, your insurance rates might actually go down, right? So insurance companies will actually probably benefit from that data that's collected, and companies that will comply with those types of schedules. For individual warehouses and distribution facilities, you can manage the workflow and foot traffic, because you can create simulations that will allow to understand how people move within an environment where they congregate and make those congregation areas safe. And you can also safeguard your inventory. So the safeguarding of the inventory has to do with both fraudulent issues of inventory being removed by unauthorized removals, but also based on viruses. So some customers are very concerned with the fact that when they get a product, could that have the virus involved? By having these AI and ML type of algorithms, let's say for argument's sake, you're swabbing some information, you can predict, using that information, the quantity of items that may actually have COVID-19, and you can develop policies to say, if they come from this area, or here's a particular area, or this is what's causing any type of infection, it can actually predict where those are by using that data. So new opportunities, there is going to be tremendous opportunity in customer behavior because it's going to change. So your AI algorithms can identify the changing purchasing habits. How are they purchasing? Mobile, online, television, any other way? Where will they purchase? Instead of large aggregate stores, do I need to create smaller stores and move the product to where they're going to be? When will they purchase? Do I have to have different hours? Am I going to have to do different things at different locations? And we can predict and model these habits based on that and identify gaps. So with regards to payments, Another thing that's changing are the payments. The customer payments will change because now the credit card companies are providing the touchless credit cards where you don't, and it's payment through your phone. So you're going to see a lot of changes in payment systems, and the AI solutions can help interact with those payment systems to figure out what is actually customers like and don't like. With new acquisitions, your customers can gravitate towards safer businesses. If you're promoting your AI and ML algorithms for this, where you can identify sentiments and attitudes of new customers, you can actually then determine which customers will gravitate towards you and which ones might leave. And it will also help you develop your own internal policies and your own marketing strategy to handle this. Finally, on disruptor acceleration, we're seeing the increased automated delivery systems, enhanced mobile use. You can use your AI algorithms to help customers find products. In this particular situation, you had the surge of purchasing, and they've been modeling these waves. That the first wave was toilet paper that was going. Now they're talking about hair dye and grooming products are in short supply. We're talking about disruptions in the supply chain. The AI algorithms can help customers find products from different locations instead of having them actually go out to the Amazons of the world and to the Whole Foods and other stores to try and find that product. There might be solutions out there which will find the products for them through the entire supply chain. It's this aggregated supply chain. And the machine learning and optimization algorithms will help make a supply chain even faster. This will actually preclude the need for the cloud-based data solutions. You need cloud-based data solutions in order to do that, because you'll also need to increase the data cooperation between companies. So one of the things that we think is going to be a new era for this, because we've seen this in the automotive industry, where BMW, Mercedes, and a few others are sharing data between cars. So, and they share that data to make the driving experience better. So we think this era of data cooperation will gain more and more traction, and it will allow you to build more algorithms to help your customers and help your product line and help your supply chain at the same time.